Good afternoon. Welcome po sa press briefing ni Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abela. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Yes, sir. Do you have any statement, sir?
All right. This has been a great week, and we look forward to another great week next week. All right. And that's saying the same thing all over again. But anyway, we just like to mention a few things. We don't have too many heavy heavy things on our agenda today, except that we'd like to just mention that one of the interesting things that was taken up is the possible revival of the ROTC, or ROTC. And it's interesting what was mentioned, especially the President's comments regarding ROTC, how it's going to help in the building up of discipline and values, especially in this generation, and how we expect ROTC to be able to help build a sense of patriotism among the next generation. That's about it. And so we'd just like to proceed with the questions, if you have any.
Yes, Joseph Morong about ROTC.
Sir, just on the ROTC, sir, kailan to for implementation?
Pinag-uusapan yung actual but it should be within the
Next cycle.
next cycle.
May follow-up question about ROTC. Other issue? ROTC, Weng de la Fuente, Net 25.
Sir, the Makabayan, the Kabataan party list is parang they don't agree with the president statement na gawing mandatory nga po yung ROTC. Kasi we can instill discipline naman daw without reimposing yung the mandatory training for military training ng mga youth.
There's a platform is being designed, so the president is open to conversation. Yes.
Follow-up question, Ted Tuvera, Tribune.
Sir, regarding po sa ROTC, kasi yung concern nga po nung Kabataan Party List at ng mga ibang nag-o-oppose dito ay yung iwasan yung mga abuses.
That's right.
Halimbawa po nung 2001 nga po may estudyante daw na pinatay sa UST because of that. And then recently may viral video of students, I guess in Mindanao, na pinapahirapan. May mga provisions po ba tayo, sir, to prevent yung mga...
Kasama na yun kasama sa prosesong pinag-uusapan. Kumbaga, narinig na rin kung bakit may opposition tungkol sa pag-i-impose uli ng ROTC. So, kasama sa pag-uusap yan. But definitely, ang emphasis ng Presidente is how ROTC basically is a platform for helping build a sense of patriotism into the people, into the next generation specifically.
Sir, sino po nag-initiate na ito, sir, na muling ibalik yung ROTC?
A lot of it is largely his own.
Follow-up question, ROTC. No more other issue.
Yes, miss.
ROTC. Rose, other issue. Rose Novenario.
Good afternoon, Secretary. Meron po bang balak ang palasyo mag-declare ng state of emergency sa Albuera, Leyte dahil para nagkakaroon na po ng lawless violence doon? Or magte-take over po ba ang DILG? Dahil po yung mayor, di ba, alam naman nating positive naman siya sangkot dun sa drugs.
I don't know if it's necessary to go into a state of emergency. It's not immediately clear, but the conditions that should lead to state of emergency, kasama po ito lahat, ipoproseso po lahat ito. Thank you.
Follow-up about drugs. Mia, TV5, to be followed by Joseph Molo.
Sir, on the bidding process, sir, it was mentioned by the President yesterday that he will be the one to choose or may process pa din yun, sir?
Bidding process?
Yes, sir.
I think binanggit lang talaga. I think the one that he really made specific, he made a specific reference to was the fact that it's not necessary that if you have the lowest bid, that is the best bid. So, kumbaga, the whole bidding process is not entirely changing the whole bidding process, but simply addressing the fact that that just because you submit the lowest bid doesn't necessarily mean that you have the best bid. In other words, he's stressing quality. He's stressing the quality of the bids. He's elevating the whole process of service contracts.
Okay, doon muna tayo sa drugs. Joseph Morong.
Sir, yung shoot to kill order and shoot on site orders, some are saying maybe it's illegal. Ano yung legal basis for that? It looks effective, pero paano sir yung some more
Are you
questioning?
talking about the Espinosa thing?
Yes, sir. And then may mga, di ba, kay Peter Lim, meron din siyang
Okay.
statement.
If
na
you
ganun.
will take note of the statement that I made, it is if it endangers life or if they resist the arresting officer. Okay. So hindi meron pong pinagbabasihan niya, may pinagagalingan niyan. Okay.
Pero sir, it's not illegal.
What is
Yung pong ganun na mga orders na shoot to kill, shoot on site.
like I said,
The operative
like I said, there is a condition. It's based on set conditions. Next.
Wing, on drugs?
Sir, without going personal against Senator Laila de Lima, how does the president reacted to her privilege speech yesterday and calling for the Senate probe on the extrajudicial killing? Will the government participate, the executive participate in this investigation?
President Duterte has not made any comments regarding Senator De Lima, and basically that is the job of the legislative to be able to exercise their independent authority. So they're welcome to make the necessary investigations as they see fit.
Dexter Ganibe?
Magandang hapon, Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Napag-usapan doon sa 4th Cabinet Meeting yung pangalan ng mga local chief executives na involved sa droga. Ano po ang prosesong gagawin ng administrasyon? Sila ba ay i-inform, nasusuko, or papangalanan sila publicly?
Hindi po natin alam. I'm not entirely sure how the president will go about it, but definitely the fact that it's been named simply means to say that the process has begun. In other words, they will be contacted, they will be addressed, and they should respond accordingly. They're being asked to respond accordingly.
Kapag hindi po sila tumugon doon sa pakiusap, at saka kung ano po yung pakiusap po?
Basically yung katulad nung nangyayari nga na ina-address sila kasi kumbaga parang pinapaalam sa ilang tao na alam na yung kanilang kalagayan. So they're being asked to respond accordingly. So we'll just wait for them to respond. Okay, thank you.
Question on drugs? Tina? Philippine Star.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Considering na itong mga at least 27 local executives, hindi ba sakop din ng DILG to at least call for their suspension?
That's
or-
part of that's part of the process. Okay, that's part of the process. If it will be addressed through the DILG or what. Okay.
What is clear right now as they were already tagged in the order of battle of the intelligence
Well,
units
what
of the
is-
armed forces and the PNP.
No names have actually been mentioned, right? No names have actually been publicly mentioned. We're simply saying that we're calling the attention of certain people who are thought to be in government positions who are engaged in this, that they should respond accordingly. Okay, but nobody has been named publicly. Right? Nobody has been named publicly.
On drugs? Ina, on drugs? No. Joseph Morong, then
Sir,
Mia.
if and when the announcement is made, does that mean that those who are named are positively involved in illegal drug trade?
It simply means to say that they have been identified as being linked with drug trafficking.
And then can they go to the president to surrender? Because mukhang ganun, sir, yung some
Well,
of the
just
names.
as long.
Well,
Yeah.
That
Well,
is
it is their call to respond as they see fit. Okay. Just as long as there is a appropriate response from them. Okay.
Mia, TV5.
Sir, follow up on that question.
Yes.
Sir, we know that the president will be the one to name these local executives, sir, the 27 names.
Whatever, numbers,
But
yeah.
at least can you give us a glimpse, like from what provinces they are, mayors, governors?
It's not my call. It's the president's call. It's his prerogative to name them.
Like from what provinces are they? Sir?
As I said,
Can
it's his prerogative to name them. Thank
May
you.
follow up pa about drugs? Ina, Andolong?
Sir, when the
CNN?
president previously named the generals also
Yes.
linked to the illegal drug trade, he right then and there ordered the immediate relief of those, at least the active generals.
All right.
dito sa local officials, at least if sitting officials will be named, can we expect the DILG to implement a similar sanction
If and when,
immediately?
if and when, the ALG will respond in kind. In other words, an appropriate response from the ALG will be demanded.
Dexter Ganive?
Follow-up lang, Secretary.
Yes.
Yung binabanggit nyo na mayroon ng communication doon sa mga local chief executive na napag-usapan doon sa 4th Cabinet meeting, nagbigay din ba ang Pangulo ng ultimatum o palugit para sila ay sumuko sa otoridad o magbigay ng kanilang...
You're asking for a timeline?
Yes, sir.
Wala naman timeline na nasabi, except that, syempre, pag na-address ka na, it is expected that you respond promptly. Promptly, yes.
Okay, ibang issue na or drugs pa? Weng de la Fuente, Net 25.
Sir, kung information pa lang and no official charges against these local officials, hindi ba government is subjecting them to trial by publicity?
Hindi po naman siguro, it's not trial by publicity, except that they're simply being called. Their attention is being called. Okay? All right.
Di ba parang pag nabanggit ho yung pangalan nila, it's gano'n na lang if they are not charged formally. Parang walang
They're actually being given the chance to clear their names.
Sir, another on the issue of extrajudicial killings, may international group, human rights organizations calling other international human rights organizations to urge the government to stop violence and extrajudicial killing. May we get your reaction on that?
I don't have a personal comment on that, but they're very free. In other words, it's also their prerogative to make their own call.
Hindi ba somehow worried ang government na magkaroon ng pangit na image ang Pilipinas sa international community because of this extrajudicial killings?
The government knows exactly where it stands, okay? It knows exactly where it stands, it knows its position, and it knows exactly it knows exactly the next moves that it needs to make. The government stands on principle.
Thank you.
Okay, MPC, move forward na tayo sa drugs. Joseph Morong, sa drugs pa rin. And then Ina Andolong.
Sir,
move na
kailan
tayo
talaga papangalanan ni Presidente yung...
It's his prerogative.
Okay.
Okay, Ina Andolong.
Sir, what exactly is the President doing to make sure that extrajudicial killings are not happening, to make sure that law enforcers are not abusing their authority as they carry out their operations against drug pushers?
He is actually in touch with the hierarchy. He's in touch with the hierarchy of authority, and he communicates exactly where he stands. So, in other words, he is ensuring that the process is duly carried out by being personally in touch with those who are in charge.
Is he not concerned that all of a sudden police officials or law enforcers are suddenly citing when people are killed during an operation, citing all these reasons specifically na nanlaban? Lahat parang almost every situation or case, ganun po ang nangyayari. Is it not worth looking into as far as Malacanang is concerned?
I'm sure he is looking into these matters. He has been made aware and he is looking into these matters.
Follow up. O other issue na tayo? Last, Joseph.
So there were reports that some of those who were killed and labeled as drug addicts were not really drug addicts. Some are scholars and all that. Is the President aware of such incidents, and paano yung safeguard natin, sir, na hindi mangyayari yun?
Like I said, he is aware of these things and he is in touch with those who are in charge of the process.
Ina, may follow up. Tina.
Sir, recently, di ba mayroong parang reservist na pumatay sa biker? Tapos mayroong incident na naka-handcuff na may traffic altercation with HPG. These are
You're talking about two separate...
Two separate incidents.
Okay.
These resulted to deaths of the victims. How is the President addressing these?
I think he's addressing it at the level where it happened. Okay, already I think the Quiapo incident has already been made. I think charges have been filed already, right? If I'm right. So in other words, it's being addressed at the level. It doesn't have to be elevated immediately. It is addressed on the level where it happened.
Ina? May follow-up? Other issue or extra? Catherine Valente?
Ay, good afternoon, sir. Sir, regarding po sa China's new policy to penalize po illegal fishers sa South China Sea, talaga daw pong hindi pinapapasok ang mga Filipino fishermen there. So
Alright.
what's the palace take on this? Will you advise po our Filipino fishermen to avoid panatag shoal for their safety? Thank you.
Again, the shoal itself, no? The shoal, you're talking Scarborough? Okay, Scarborough. Basically, let me just go back. Scarborough is really just for artisanal fishing. It's basically artisanal fishing, and it should be left alone by those who are engaged in commercial fishing. Okay, so basically from our side, we have already our safeguards in place. Okay, safeguards in place. There's a 12-mile limit to, I think there's a 12-mile limit to Scarborough, no? So, kung it's allowed, fishing, artisanal fishing is allowed in that area. But aside from that, it should be left alone. So from our side, we have specific guidelines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other issue? Laila Salaveria? Inquirer.net.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
The President has spoken out strongly against contractualization.
Yes.
And Senator Recto pointed out that
Yes.
the government also hires a lot of temporary workers. So
Yes.
what will the government do about this? Can we expect an order from whoever stopping the practice?
It will be looked into appropriately. It will be looked into. Okay.
By whom, Dad Dole? May directive. Is there a has there been a directive from the President?
No directive. It has to be studied first. It has to be looked into first. Okay. By the appropriate executive office, by the appropriate office. Okay.
Manila Standard? Bencito? Or JB Bencito?
Good morning. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, what are the specific safeguards na ginawa na ng gobyerno? Ano po yung parang guidelines that we are implementing with regards to conduct with China, sir? Or with regards to the waters na contested po?
What do you mean specifically?
Sir, you mentioned earlier that there have been some safeguards, there are guidelines that the government is pressing on or implementing with regards to the West Philippine Sea issue. Sir, meron na po ba tayong specific, sir? Ano po ba yun?
Okay. What I said about, there are already some guidelines already in place. For example, katulad ng no commercial fishing within Scarborough. So that's already in place. It's not a new one. It's just being implemented. But regarding the other conversations with the other parties, we just take the diplomatic route.
Celerina? Microphone, please. Manila Shimbun. Celerina Del Mundo.
So, sir, clarification lang regarding dun sa South China Sea sa Scarborough. So, yung hindi commercial fishing vessels, like for instance, yung mga small fishers,
Wala
they
pong
could
small
still-
fishers doon. That is
So-
too far out. So the only ones going that direction are really commercial fishers.
How about these people na fishermen that we saw on television na they were being barred from going there? So commercial po tong mga to. Sorry.
Mostly because there are really no artisanal fishers. It's really very far out.
So in effect, we're not allowing our fishermen to go there.
It's not that we're not allowing our fishermen to go there. We're simply saying that there are certain kinds of fishermen who are allowed and who should be there and can fish inside. Those are the artisanal fishers. But at that distance, basically, there are hardly, if any at all, artisanal fishers.
So meaning, sir, yun yung mga previous fishermen natin na who used to fish there, they could no longer go there.
Ang sinasabi ko po lang, okay, I'm saying that technically, the ones who can fish near the area, inside the area are artisanal fishers. Off the area, commercial fishers.
Okay, sir, can you take a last question from Joseph Morong about contractualization?
Sir, does that mean that yung pronouncement again ni Presidente regarding, ending that practice of contractualization also covers government?
We should look into that. We are looking into that.
So non-committal whether the government is...
From where I'm coming from.
Follow-up question about Pia and then Tina.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, just to clarify, the 888 hotline, because nung Monday,
The
the
4-8s.
911 was launched, but
Right.
it's not clear if the 8888 was also launched. So can you just clear that up? Is it ready? Have the charge issues been resolved?
I don't know if everything has been resolved, but it was officially launched last Monday also, along with 911.
May follow-up or other issue? Okay.
Sir, on another matter, merong parang series of power interruptions in Luzon. In Luzon,
Alright.
power interruptions from July 26 to July 31 sa Luzon grid.
Okay.
Has it been discussed in the cabinet meetings?
It was
or
not discussed in the cabinet meetings.
And if ever, sir, will you address this in the next press con na lang? Kasi there's also
As it arises, yes. As it arises, it will be discussed. Okay.
Okay. Raymond Tinasa, other follow-up or other issue?
Sir, how can we get a sense of parang confidence from the CPP, NPA, NDF, and the President himself that these peace talks would actually push through, considering I think some fires are shots, especially from the President calling the, especially coming from Joma Season, calling the President Butangero and other personal name callings, and vice versa also the President calling Joma Season na hindi dapat pagkatiwalaan dahil hindi nga sila nakapagpapanalo. So how can we tame this exchange of words?
Well, basically, we need to go, as you noticed probably, the intention of the President is final and lasting peace. So he's willing to go beyond beyond the word exchange. So we can trust that. We can trust the process. At least we can trust where the president's coming from. And already there is a process that has been, and we didn't start it. We're simply continuing and wanting to finish it within his term.
And categorically, can we actually trust Mr. Joma Season?
Let's put it this way. We need to just trust the human process. Okay?
Sir,
Thank
pwede
you.
pa mag-question? Si
Sir,
Rose
last na lang sa peace process.
Opo, yeah.
Sabi po ni Secretary Duresa, magsasabit siya ng recommendation nung Monday. Ano po yung isinabit ni Secretary Duresa para dun sa pagsulong ng usapang pangkapayapaan?
We're not privy to the details, but the conversation continues with CNN. Thank
Sir,
you.
may last pa rin, Mia?
Sir, text-in question, sir. What's the stand of the President regarding divorce bill? He kept on mentioning that during the campaign, sir.
I think it will be submitted, right? It is. May nag-file. Okay, so let's await it.
Sir, pwede pang question daw? Hannah Sancho. Okay. Hannah Sancho?
Sir, di ba sa August 20 na po yung Oslo meeting with the Joma Season?
Right.
Ang wino-work out po, kaya minove po ng August 20 is para may makasama na dun sa mga political detainees na i-release.
Yes.
May ma-release po ba, sir, na makakasama sa August 20?
Ang pagkakaalam ko po, as far as I know, that there will be people who will be given safe passage.
Mga ilan kaya sila, sir?
I'm not sure about the final number, but a number will be given safe passage.
So, meron po talaga.
Meron naman.
Kasama po yung Tiamzon couple, sir.
Apparently.
So, sure na sila nakasama sa 20 sa Oslo.
As far as I know, as of this moment, as far as I know, kasama po sila. I think they'll be given safe passage. As far as I know. I may be, okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
RJ Bencito?
Sir, last. Sir, magkakaroon ba tayo ng interim ceasefire with the Reds should the August 20 peace talks proceed?
I think as far as I know, also the CNN declared that they would have their own ceasefire, right?
CPP, sir.
Yeah, but CNN kasi refers to Communist Party, NDF, and NPA. So it's not CNN inakalala. No, that's how they refer to it. Okay. No offense intended.
Pero sir, may interim ceasefire.
Let's
on
see how,
government side.
again, let me see, my classic line is, let's see how it unfolds. Okay.
That's JB Bencito. I'm sorry. Nakamali ako sa name. About CPP, peace talks. Ted De Vera. Microphone, please. Thank you.
Sir, binanggit niyo po or ni Secretary Andanar sa statement na willing sila makipag-engage sa public, even
Sino sila?
Secretary Andanar on federalism, sir. Ano po yung balak ni Presidente o ng Malacanang para mas yun pag yung info drive nila on federalism, sir? Kasi nga 'di ba may survey na nagsasabing karamihan sa
Alright,
mga
okay. So, yung tanong nyo,
paano po paano ikakampanya ng Malacanang yung federalism, sir?
meron pong may paraan kasama na po itong pagsulong, you know. But the next steps will also be susunod-sunod siya. Okay, susunod siya. It will follow its own cycle. Sige, last question, please.
Last question, Neil Maribuhok, UNTV. Nel.
Short lang po.
Sure.
May schedule na po ba for LEDAC? Napag-uusapan na po ba ito?
Yung LEDAC, wala pa po, hindi pa po namin-mention yung hindi pa po namin-mention yung actual dates. Okay. So that's it. Thank you very much. You've been a great audience.
Thank you. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corp. Thank you, Secretary Abela.
Thank you.
Back to our main studio sa Radyo ng Bayan at Telebisyon ng Bayan PTV.